YouTube, I've had people, trust me, that were so envious of me. Of course, they didn't wish me good luck, but that's why I left where I was. I want to be around friendly, caring people. And it was the best choice I ever made in my life. Hey, Sofa King! Yeah, I'm live. What'd you expect? What'd you expect? Anyway, I'm just kind of mouthing off here tonight on something positive, something great, something good, instead of dealing with the trolls and crap. My girlfriend said to me, she said, "Do you like vlogging?" I said, yes and no. And thought that was it. That was the answer, yes and no. But then she kind of came in and said, look, if it makes you happy to vlog, then do it. Just don't get into the shit with the trolls and just don't get into all that back and forth. Yeah, they're going to make shows on you. Who the fuck cares? It's getting so old that I think there's a lot of people that are getting to a point where I want to hear something more positive. Maybe you're interested in living in the Philippines and you want to hear somebody's viewpoint if somebody's been living out here a pretty long time. Does it really know what it's like? Is it really worth coming out here? Am I going to be happy being in the Philippines? But that really involves a lot of factors. Start off with don't come out here with a pre-existing health condition. Come out here with appropriate money for two things. That you could survive every month if you're just going to rent, to pay your rent, have food, you know, be able to buy over-the-counter supplies if you need it, and have a little bit of money tucked in the bank for an emergency. If you could do that, you're going to live fine out here. You'll live fine. Even with the inflation, you'll live very well out here. I mean, don't come out here with just $500 a month. I mean, I will tell you straight off, like somebody did, that's just not going to work. You're going to have to want to get a YouTube channel and e-beg. That's going to be your life. And that's the last thing that you want to do. That's the last thing you want to do. Okay, so I got to say, it's been really good for me. Oh, sure, it's been a wild ride on here for me as being a vlogger in a very dark environment, if you know what I mean. But I overcame that all the years I've been on here. I've had so much adversity on here that you would think most people would just say fuck this. I did say fuck this. I'm still saying fuck this. I really am. I just wanted to come on here and share something with you. Because although my girlfriend said pretty much, if you want to do vlogging, go ahead if it makes you happy. Well, my answer to her was, well, it makes me happy to express myself. That's for sure. I know that. That's who I am, whether you like it or not, and what I have to talk about. But I think I share a lot of my own philosophy, and I think a lot of people like that. Because philosophy is life. Let's face it. And life is philosophy. And I think I do a pretty good job of that. And I enjoy doing that. I like expressing myself, saying what's on my mind. Not everything I say is going to be something that somebody wants to hear, okay? Because they don't want to hear it about themselves. But I think that's been the biggest mistake all these years, is certain interactions that are not worthwhile having on here. Nevertheless, I'm still at that same point where I challenge myself all the time. I say to myself, look, dude, if you're going to get off, just get off. If you want to do a cameo now and then, dude, that's probably a lot better than coming on every goddamn day. And people have certain expectations from me, and that's kind of hard for me because they expect me to be on, they expect me to do a show, they expect me to have something to say. It's almost like becoming, I guess you'd say, an obligation. And I really don't like obligations like that. Although, truthfully, YouTube, you might think, is my darkest times, but it's really not. YouTube has gotten me through some dark moments, actually. It really has. I won't explain why, but it really has. And I think it's done the same thing for some people. Maybe under different situations they might have. But I think being able to express yourself, living in a country where, English is only their second language. And I guess it's relating with other foreigners who speak the language. They understand the slang. They know what Western culture is all about. I think that's what draws expats to do shows on YouTube. I think that's the denominator of why expats like to do shows on here and why I've lasted such a long time on here. Because if I wasn't getting something out of this, I would have been gone a long time ago. But then it comes to a point where I feel, okay, I got what I want out of this as much as I could. Uh, where's this road actually taking me? Okay, and sometimes it's good to get off that road, and you got in your mind good intention to say, hey, can it, man? Just can it. And you know what I did was I got rid of most of any, I think of any negative videos I had on there that have to do with any kind of, I haven't gotten them all off yet, but anything that has to do with the back and forth and the negativity on YouTube, you'll probably notice if you go through my videos, you'll probably see a lot of these things gone. The things you're going to just see on there is just going to be little vacation things I took, even some upcoming stuff I may decide to do. There's certain personal things I want to keep off YouTube if I do any more shows. Um, I don't like to hide my family. I don't like to hide my girlfriend. She is part of my life, but my efforts were to basically kind of keep as much as I can the family out of it. And that's probably the first thing if you're going to be a vlogger. Don't put your family in there. Don't get too personal because they will use that against you. And believe me, I know. That was my mistake and my bad. So that's my advice to anybody who wants to put a channel on. I think you could have a marvelous time doing your own show, but you got to realize there's always going to be a heckler out there. There's always going to be somebody out there that can't make it out here for whatever reason. They can't afford, or they're not retired yet. They still have to work more years. But here's the problem with these people. They're killing themselves, and I'll tell you why. They started listening to all these YouTube shows, right? Now, remember what I said. They're not in a position yet to move out here. They got a few more years of retirement they got to put in, or their Social Security. But they got hooked, and they're killing themselves because they're living their life vicariously through other people actually living out here, such as myself. It's killing them because they can't afford to come to the Philippines yet. They can't retire yet. Then you got some of these guys that want to wait till the maximum age of Social Security, which is to get your full benefit, which is 67. Well, as I say on my shows a lot, is that in a perfect world, you will live to be 67, but that is not always the case. That's not always the case. I'm lucky I've served past it, went way past that, and I'm still here in the Philippines doing what I do. And for anybody to judge my life, it's really funnier than shit because I don't know if it's funny, but I think it's absurd for them to make judgment on my life when they're not actually living my life. We actually do a hell of a lot more things than I talk about on here. I have days that I don't do anything. Though it's too goddamn hot, and I said, I ain't even going downtown, sister. There's times I absolutely do that. But as I said, I'm like a racehorse, and I like to move. I don't like sitting stagnant in the house all the time. So contrary to popular belief, I'm not always in this house under my air conditioner. We do get out. We go for lunches. Sometimes we go for breakfast. We go for dinner more so than lunches or breakfasts. When that weather is cool at the end of the day, you got that cool ocean breeze hitting your body. You look at it, that ocean, calmness. There's not too many people around. A few lazy dogs cooling off in the breeze at the end of the day. Got some nice people having dinner with their loved ones. A woman even brought her little foo-foo dog that was running around today. People were just enjoying their retirement. But what does it mean to enjoy your retirement? What exactly encompasses that? Well, I'll tell you. You don't have to be traveling all over the Philippines. You don't have to be making a trip every week. You don't have to be mountain climbing or, you know, going on a whale watch trip or something, which I think is cruel anyway, because you're fucking with Mother Nature with these whales anyway. It's not good for their nutrition. You're basically training them to come to be fed so you can make money for your tourism company, which is cruel. I don't get into that. So I would not enjoy. I went on whale watch trips in Hawaii, and they did it right. They just went by radar where the whale, and they had a underwater microphone, and they could actually hear the whales calling. They put it on a big speaker. It was magical. I remember the day that I saw. God, what was it? What kind of whale was this? God, it was huge. It breached the water. Big tail went down under. And he went deep. And then he came up one more time. And they go real deep. Then they come up again. And we had the, what do you call it? An aquaphone. It's a sono, okay, forgot the name of it. Hydrophone. We had the hydrophone. And you could hear the whales callings and the sounds that they make. That was a spiritual moment for me because I'm a real spiritual guy. To see something like that up fairly close too, that was a spiritual moment for me because Hawaii was a very, 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 very spiritual place. I think it's the only place I've ever been where it was that spiritual. When I'm not talking about religion, okay? Spiritual. The beauty, the natural beauty of nature, even watching lava from 20 feet away coming out of the wall of a ridge. I mean, I've seen things that some people only wish they've seen. Nevertheless, to get to live in a beautiful place for what called Hawaii for 15 years, I accomplished that. I accomplished everything almost I set out to do. Now, I don't know what people think is a bad life, but I really don't have too much complaints. You know, life moves on. Family moves on sometimes too. There's certain things in life that none of us have control of. I know many people that haven't talked to family members in 10, 15, 20 years. It happens. But doesn't mean that life stops. It means that life moves on. Somebody's life passes away, as my brother did. My life still moves on. And whether I'm dead or not, there's still going to be sorry stores. People are still going to be going to work. There's still going to be traffic jams. There's still going to be pollution. You know, there's still going to be people loving each other. There's still going to be people hating each other, communicating with each other. People and life goes on after you die. The world does not stop when you die. The world goes on. So my philosophy is enjoy the world that you have until you're not going to live anymore to experience this world, but do your best on what makes you, not other people's opinions, what makes you happy in your environment, because that's how you're living. It's a choice that you made to be where you are. Now, unfortunately, for some people, you know, no matter where you go, there you are. And if you take a really horrible attitude from somebody somewhere else that you lived and bring it to your next location, it's not going to change. You got to be willing to change. It won't matter where you live or how pretty it is. You could enjoy the beauty, but you know, if you're just a hateful person, it's going to show. And the whole ambiance of where you live is going to be dark as it's in somebody's dark mind. And you won't be able to appreciate the beauty because you're just thinking too much of dark things that binds you down. It doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't get you a relationship. It doesn't get you anywhere. And yes, you could come to a beautiful place, It doesn't mean you're going to have a beautiful life. It's all fairy tale stuff. It is. It's fairy tale stuff. A beautiful life is what you make of it. It's having somebody to love you and to love back, and that's the most important thing in the world. And for those people that have been lonely a good part of their life, I think they very much understand what I'm talking about. I don't make this shit up, it's just part of life. You either have or you have not. If you don't have, as long as you're breathing, you will have time to have if you just work on it. No matter how fucked up you may be, if you could find a way to change your nature to something more positive than negative, there's no reason why you can't have a good life. There's no reason why you can't travel to live somewhere else, no matter what your family says. Oh, why are you going to leave America? Bad enough you left the mainland America and went to Hawaii. What the hell are you doing? Well, you see, we have a life of our own. So when your children are grown up, they're out of the nest. They have their own life. They have their own children, their own interests, even if they don't give a shit about other family members. Life still moves on, and my life moved on. I have a family here. And yes, they are my family, blood or not, they are my family. I'm not alone. I'm not lonely until the day that I pass on. I'm fortunate to say that I will never be alone. And I can think of a number of people out there that cannot make that statement. I can, and for sure, and with no doubt, I could say that and rest in comfort of actually knowing that. But in the meantime, I'm very much alive. I plan to be as long as I can, and I plan to continue my happiness out here. Okay? And I really wish I could have shown you that video because I had a lot of interesting things to say in that video, but I just couldn't, you know, it wouldn't have worked well. Copy it onto my phone from her. I just didn't want to deal with it, really. It was my moment. It was my moment, and I could talk about it, but there's some things that maybe are better not put on camera. Having that special moment to be shared by you and somebody you love and not have to share everything to everybody out there, to know every goddamn thing you're doing. I think that's a mistake a lot of us make that do shows on here. You just get too personal. You really should keep your personal life personal. Even the good old John Blaze said that too, didn't he? He said that, didn't he? Yeah. Well, he might be right on only one thing on that alone. But if you're proud of your family, you're proud of what you have, you don't have to hide it. Just that in social media, sometimes it's just a good idea. Enjoy your life, enjoy your partner, enjoy your family, but limit as to what or how much you want to share that part of your life on a social media platform, which is probably the wisest thing that anybody could possibly do. So, in a nutshell, did I make a mistake moving to the Philippines? No, no. As I said, there's a lot of bugaboos about the place here, and bugs. But I have to tell you, oh, speaking of bugs, we had a good laugh. We did watch a movie this afternoon. What the hell? I don't know what the hell it is. Just call it ants on a plane. It did one of the snakes on a plane, but there was these bullet ants. If you know anything about bullet ants, that's why they call them bullet ants, because if they bite you, it feels like if somebody got shot, how it would feel. Well, I don't know what the whole story was on this ship, but there seemed to be these bullet ants on the plane, or this guy brought them on, had it in his system. I don't know what the deal was, but these bullet ants were getting all over the plane, and they were really big ants, good sized ones. But they were like hybrid type. They were stronger and whatever. That was the whole theme of it. And then it really, my skin just, stood up really. And these ants were falling down from the vents onto these people. And I was thinking, damn, I hate ants. I hate ants. Because, if you live in the Philippines, you're going to have ants, okay? And what does she do in one of the scenes? She does what I do. It's well known. Take out some boric acid. I've known that for a long time, Johnny. Take some boric acid. And I make my own little special mix on it. I just haven't had any boric acid. I gotta order more. I can't find it locally. Maybe a hardware store to get. But anyway, I know how to get. You got to get to the queen. That's the bottom line. But that movie was kind of funny. It was stupid, but it was still kind of funny. It was kind of icky, Imagine, and then you can't land because people are thinking it's like you're a plague, and no airports want to let you land because they don't want these creatures to come out and get away. Yeah, makes sense. But it's a movie. But I can't say it can't happen. You know, no, I don't like ants, but I think I despise flies more than ants because they're more pesky than ants are. Yeah. So if you don't like ants and a lot of bugs, I mean, don't come to the Philippines. But remember, if you're going to live in any tropical climate, I mean, you're going to expect all these creepy crawlers. Besides the sex pats that come out here, creepy crawlers. Perineum, Sophie, you still out there? You just laying back listening to my golden voice. God. Well, anyway, I thought I'd come on and it's kind of a cap off, I guess. I forgot what I was going to name the show. It was, I forgot. I had a name for the show. It was kind of like my last shot or something like that. I don't know. That I wanted to come on. And I think the timing was right because if I ever really had to explain, I think I did a pretty good job tonight of explaining why my experience in the Philippines, I think is an excellent one. When I have those moments when I just realize, and I'll even say to my girlfriend, I said, look at this. And I remember sitting down with my brother. It was one of those deja vu moments when I sat down with my brother on his deck, his porch, his lanai, as we call it in Hawaii. And he'd say to me, one of his spiritual moments, look at this. I go, look at what? He go, look around. We created this. I said, yeah, we did. Because when we really had our landscaping going, our gardening, we really had it going. It was really beautiful. And it was just something that me and him did together. It's one of those spiritual moments. And I get those spiritual moments when I'm here in the Philippines. Some are stronger times than others. When I really think and I really appreciate a number of things. I made it to another birthday. Okay. I'm still healthy. Living in a place that it's its own kind of paradise in its own. I really wouldn't compare it to Hawaii, but it's kind of different in its own way. But the people, I just really never really had any problems really with Filipinos out here, really. I just, not really. As I think back, other than some workers that maybe didn't work out that well, but I, for 8.5 years now, I can't think of any particular incidents that was very negative, other than like a work situation, hiring somebody didn't work out, didn't do the job right. I never really had a terrible experience. Do you hear that siren? I think that means it's 9 o'clock, which is a good time to get off here anyway. It's a curfew for kids not to be on the street. Anyway, I thought I'd share this show, and thank you for actually coming in and some of your sharing with me. And I really needed to come on and do this show. This is my ultimate expression where I will share with you my deep feelings about being out here in the Philippines. That I did not make a mistake coming out here at all. In fact, I think personally, it probably saved my life. Not that I was ever suicidal or nothing like that. That's not what I mean. Hawaii was beautiful and all that. Yeah, of course. I was lucky. Went through the whole statement. Yeah, 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 blah, blah, blah. But it was empty for me. I kind of had an empty heart for a fairly good amount of time while I was living in Hawaii. Occasional girlfriend here and there, but it was nothing like Seattle, I'll tell you that. But it's just the only thing that kept me going was nature, my yard, and trying to do the work that I could do with a shitty back and just keep that garden beautiful, the trimming, mowing, weed eating, the bush trimming, planting, the few papayas we had, the few orange trees we had. It was a labor of love, is what it was. But that's what kept me going, because I will not tell you that my experience in Hawaii was the most wonderful experience in my life. It certainly was a luxury to live there, but Hawaii was also a very expensive place to live, and it was quite challenging for me. Fortunately, I've always had something tucked away in the bank, so if something did come up, I would be okay. Car breaks down, whatever, take care of it. Or I decide to get another vehicle, I give my brother whatever I had, and he could drive that, and I just get another vehicle. I was able to do that, yeah. But I'm living a whole lot better now than I did when I think about it, back in Hawaii or Seattle. I really am. I'm making more money now than I did when I had my job with all the benefits back in Seattle days. We manage, we're creative, and we're not just living on Social Security. It would be slightly difficult today if I just depended on that. Oh, we could get by on that. We did for all the years we lived out here, except for the past couple of years. Prior to that, we just lived on the Social Security. But as inflation comes, and it makes it hard on everyone, really. Prices are going up all the time. We have no control of that. But anyway, before we hit the hour mark on here, we're going to come to a closure here. Thanks for tuning in. It's a crapshoot, and you're probably going to bet on the fact that I'll be on tomorrow morning, but that may not be a fact at all. I feel pretty guilty, actually, of coming on now. But I wanted to really summarize my whole experience and not really relate it to YouTube and its demons. Like I said, when you die, life goes on. And when you die, there's still going to be assholes out there. There's still going to be lonely people. There's still going to be hateful people. That will never change. That will never change. Life still goes on. There's good people. There's bad people. But life goes on. Does it go on well for all these people? Not all the time. Long after I'm dead, people are still going to be doing YouTube shows. They're still going to be hateful. They're still going to attack people. That's never going to change. That's not going to change. But it doesn't mean that you can't change. You can make a decision whether you want to be part of this community or not. And I've been part of this community for a long time. So believe me, it was really hard for me, and I felt really, really guilty to even do this show. But I think I wanted to have a final expression of what my life is really like out here and how I appreciate my life. Even though people don't want to see me have a good life, a good relationship, a family. Yeah, it's a real family. And I set myself up in a way that even surprised myself. I surprised myself a lot. There's things I do that really surprise me. I could probably go on a bass guitar and play some bass. I mean, I could do that by ear. And I mean literally by ear. There's a lot of amazing things I could do when I put my mind to it. But nothing has ever stopped me from my goals, ever. Sometimes you got to move on with life. Maybe you have to leave a family to go on with your life. They now have their family. You know, they flew the coop. They became whoever they became. But it doesn't mean you have to stop your life. Life goes on until it can no longer go on. Keep that in mind. Enjoy yourself. I don't care what it is, other than being hateful. I mean, enjoy yourself. Find your little niche in life that makes you happy, because life is not forever. And whether you got 1 year to live, 5 years to live, 25 years to live, it don't matter. Find something in your day that makes you happy. Find someone that makes you happy. And you got it all. Remember, best revenge is living well, and I think I've done a pretty damn good job of that. But I really don't like using the word revenge. I'd rather not use that word revenge. But if you have to go by the saying, it does make sense. If you really want revenge, just live well. Don't worry about what people say about you, talk about you, shows they do about you. You all know what's behind that. I don't have to go into practically scriptures about this. It is what it is. And some people just will not change. And usually the ones that are barking all the time are really the chihuahuas that want to have the big bark, and they're just not appreciating their life. They want yours. But they can't have my life, not my personal life. But they could get a life together if they really tried, instead of bitching about it all the time and not having any movement in their life. And they remain stagnant in the same place, doing the same shit, talking the same rhetoric on their fucking shows and rehashing old hash, and it just gets so fucking old. Just gets so old. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this show. What videos I have left up, I probably will keep them. I do plan to do some short, there might be some little mini vacation type videos we take, or places we'll visit. I might actually do some uploads on that in the future. But I should have named this show My Real Life in the Philippines. I should have renamed it. Because this is my real life. I don't mean YouTube. I'm talking about how I feel about being here, or how I really feel, and how I think it's the best thing in the world that ever happened to me. Because I really think I would have been nowhere. And with all the women I had in Seattle, which is a great place to meet women, there's still moments you could be lonely. Because if there weren't serious relationships, why, you wake up the next day and you're alone. It's the same thing for sexpats that come here, or expats and sexpats. They come here and they see some action, which is why they came here, but then they wake up to a lonely bed, hoping that either that same person will come back, or while they, empty their wallets out, and if not, they find somebody else. Well, to me, that's shallow. I just couldn't do that. It's just not me. I've had a couple of moments like that where I've had overnighters. Well, I've had numerous ones, but it just felt so lonely and shallow the next day when they'd leave, and I was back to the chalkboard again. So you could go, if that's what you want to do, you want to go buy your company, you can go ahead and do that. It's your business and your money, but I just don't float that way. I'd rather be alone than have to go pay for some chick directly, like, here, I want to spend time with me, I'm lonely. I can't do that, man. I just can't do that because it's shallow to me. If they're only with you because you're going to show them a good time, you're going to take them out for a drink or something, you're going to buy them dinners and shit, it's shallow. I get nothing out of that. I get nothing out of that. But unfortunately, for a lot of expats, they live that way. And they want to show off all the women they met, Ah, check this one out. Check this one out. Well, you know it's just a fuck buddy. She probably has as much interest in you as eating somebody's vomit. But if the money is right, the company is tight. That's my show. Well, I hope to talk to you folks again. You probably figured I'd be right on, right? You were betting on it, right? Setting your clock to it. Well, actually, I wasn't going to. But I felt so inspired today. I had one of those moments when I really thought about my life out here. And sometimes you have to have some control too. Whether it's control to not smoke, whether it's control to not drink, or whether it's control to not be all over the planet on YouTube. You have the power to do that. But I do understand some of you folks who are also viewers that are pretty much embracing everything you hear on YouTube. We live in a society now that's based on these electronic instruments, and one-to-one friendships and relationships seem to not exist very much anymore. People are just very distant to each other, and they talk to each other through electronic devices. That's how our world is changing. That's sad that it is. It really is. Like I said, if I want to put something on a gravestone in the future, it would be something like, I ain't got the words right yet, but it'll be something like, don't feel sorry for me. You're facing a grim future on this planet, or something more creative than that. I'm alive, I'm healthy, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my life. How's that? And if anybody has a problem with that, take it to your psychiatrist. Don't take it to me. I'm living the life that I want to live, not what you'd like me to live, to see my relationship broken up, to see me unhappy, to see me unhealthy. You don't have that power over me. You never had that power over me, and you never will have that power over me. That's why my friends, I am empowered. With that being said, you all have a good day, good morning, good night, wherever you live. And we'll catch you on some, I think there'll be some future shows with some small trips and whatnot. I think there's certain things I'll be willing to share with you. I shouldn't have a problem with it. Other than that, hang tight, and there's plenty to listen to out there. If you want hate, no, there's plenty of it. I could name the channels. Go to the Hate Master John Blaze. He's one on the second of the list as being a hate master on here. It's really sad when people have to live that life. I always said that. I don't have to make up shit about my life. I'm so open, which is part of a problem, but it's also part of a solution of being honest with yourself, being happy with yourself, and not giving a shit what anybody else thinks about you, because they're not living your life. You're living your life, whether you're in the Philippines or not. You're living your life, and you know what's best for you, and I know what's best for me. And I'm doing it. And I'm doing it. I'm here. I am indeed living the life. My life, not yours. Take care, folks.
Wow, that was the longest goodbye I ever heard. Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, wow. Trust and believe. I can say I don't really care. Frank should get his turkey fixed. Doug Williams, for fuck's sakes. Look, guys, didn't even last 8 hours. Total confusion. He took down all his fucking crying and whining videos. And I'm just going to give you a quick synopsis of what I think is going on. The guy's got to leave the country, so he's got to get an exit clearance. And then he's got to come back into the country and stop paying for his visas again. And I think he's a little afraid with all the shit he put up on his channel where he says some really nasty shit about people. And I see he really hates the living shit out of John Blaze. I thought I was number one. I am jealous of you, John. He hates you more than me. Oh man, it's just outstanding. And so I think he feels he's in a little bit of trouble. And he's going to need a little extra Lexapro and benzos as he has to travel out on his own without Gilda. And I don't think he wants to go back to Hawaii, all right? Because he's been informed. The people who won the lawsuit against him have been informed. And I tell you, he owes the money. Simple as that. He should pay it. He needs a bucket, Nico. I mean, that was the biggest load of horse shit I have ever fucking heard. Okay? Biggest load of horse shit. So all I can tell you is you guys we're dealing with a guy I think that has bipolar. Mood swings, he's one way, the other. His addiction is, his Lexapro, his Bluebird, Xanax. He loves all that shit. 9 hours off. Next time he's weaning himself off YouTube. You know, he can't leave. That's it. He's proven it time and time again. And I want to thank all you guys for showing up. And I will just keep mirroring him. And you could come over here and you could talk. You could say what you want in the live chat. And enjoy yourself. So, this is Popeye 1. I want to thank you all. Thank you for coming in, Rim, Mike Dowdy, McFisher, Scott, Expat, Nico's Experience. I want to thank you all for coming in. You have a good one.